What's going on, guys? Stefan, S&E's Garage. Today we got both the Camrys behind me. Today is a little bit of a special video. Tomorrow will mark 1 year since we acquired our 2021 Toyota Camry TRD edition. And I figured what better way to celebrate that than to have a 1 year ownership review video on this car. Now, for those of you that have been following since day one, and those of you that have started following recently, I want to thank everybody. You guys have made a lot of this stuff possible. But you guys know that as time has went on, we've made little tweaks. We've added the fog lights. We've done the LED switchback blinkers. We did our power stop drilled and slotted rotors in the front and rear. We did our rear tail lights, Lexus style, sequential tail lights, tinted the windows. You know, we did our own, we put our own touch on this car. Resonator delete. We have our cold air intake by InGen. Let's go under the hood. Show you what we got under there. So like I said, under here we've got our InGen cold air intake. We went ahead and we added our hood struts. These did not come standard on the 2021. Just, you know, little touches, little TRD oil cap. And then as you saw recently, we've done our, you know, our subwoofer. We did our dash cam and our auto dim mirror. So these cars are very customizable. There's a lot of stuff you can actually do to them. Our ultra racing strut tower brace, one piece design. I love this strut tower brace. It's much better than anything else on the market. So if you are looking at one of them, definitely go that route. So like I said, it's been a year and it's been a great year. This car has had 0 issues. No check engine lights. I had a nail in the tire. My fault. Road's fault. Whoever fault it was. Wasn't the car's fault. The car's been flawless. We've got 9,424 miles on the car. Just like I said, 0 issues. So let's go take her for a ride. And let's compare it to the first time we ever recorded this car. When I took you guys on a drive. So let's go for a ride. Let's listen to it. Listen to the engine. Listen to the stereo a little bit. Now, this car did not come with the JBL option from the factory. Kind of wish it had, if I'm completely honest. But I'm not regretting it as much now that we have our kicker in the trunk. You saw that in one of my last videos. If you haven't, please go ahead and check it out. If this is the first video that you're watching of mine on this channel, we have a ton of videos up on this car using this platform. Doing things from releasing the rear parking brakes so that you can do your brakes, to doing the brakes, to doing every single modification that I've done to this car. We have recorded, we have got it on video, so there's a ton of stuff in there to help you guys. And by helping yourselves by watching the videos, you're also helping the channel, which is awesome. But yeah, not really a whole lot has changed. It's only got 9,500 miles on it, give or take. Like I said, 9,425. And it drives like it did, you know, the day I got it. Maybe if not a little better because of the tweaks we've made. It definitely stops better. There's no brake dust. If you have one of these cars, first thing you're going to notice, the wheels, especially the front wheels, get so dirty so fast. So if you do have one, definitely upgrade to a ceramic brake pad. You don't have to do the rotors. I just opted to do drilled and slotted because they look good behind the wheels. That was definitely one of my favorite modifications for this car because it makes the maintenance and the upkeep on keeping the car clean that much easier. One other thing you should definitely do if you just bought one of these cars, one of the first things I would do if I were you, is do some sort of an oil catch can to keep those PCV, the positive crankcase vapors, out of your engine, out of your intake, and keep that intake track clean, you know, reduce your carbon buildup, and keep this engine as happy as you can for as long as you can. Especially if you're like me, I do not plan on getting rid of this car anytime soon. This is my garage queen. I know weird. My second car is a Camry, but I've always been a Toyota purist. And as soon as I found out they were putting the TRD treatment on this, platform, I jumped on it. So we're going to go ahead real quick. Right now we're just in normal mode here. We're going to shift it into sport mode, and you're going to see my gauge cluster is going to turn red in the center screen. And what this is going to do is basically it's going to change our steering feel, and it's going to make it shift a little bit firmer. It's going to let it hold the lower gears a little bit longer, and it's going to make it more willing to downshift. So like I said, if this is the first video of mine you're watching, you wouldn't know this, but I did do an in-gen cold air intake like I showed you under the hood, and we did do a resonator delete, mid-resonator, just to kind of give the exhaust a little bit more of a bark. So after we pass this Toyota here, this is a Toyota Tacoma passing me, we're going to hit it. And you see it was very willing in sport mode to just drop a gear and disappear. The car drives great. This car is not tuned. I have been considering doing a D3 tune, but I'm just kind of sitting back in the bleachers, if you will, and seeing what guys are doing on the forums and seeing what kind of issues they have longevity-wise. I've seen one or two cases where they burned cats out. I don't know if that was, driver error or tuner error, whatever it was. And obviously, once you tune your car, if you blow your cats out, Toyota's not going to cover that. So the last thing I want to do is have to spend, $3,000-$4,000 on three catalytic converters for this car. So we didn't go that route. But as I've mentioned in my first TRD review video when I first purchased the car, this car is not for everybody. It is a four-door sedan. It has a large trunk, but it's not as practical as like an XSE or an LE. These back seats do not fold down. There is a very large V-brace back there. I'm going to drop a picture of that below now. And you'll see that that brace is actually why you can't fold your seats down, because that braces the whole back end of the unibody of this car. And kind of gives it that handling characteristic that makes it a lot firmer. Now, here, let's hit it real quick. Now, like I mentioned also in my first video, this suspension is quite a bit firmer than what you would find on an XLE, an LE, SE, or XSE. The car sits about a half-inch lower front and rear. It's got stiffer front and rear sway bars, and it's got stiffer springs. So if you're looking for a cush ride, this probably isn't your car. It's not overbearing, like I've said, but it's definitely firmer than what you would find on one of the luxury or the sport luxury trimmed Camrys. Now, I have seen plenty of videos from other YouTubers that kind of knock this car for being stripped down. And let's just call it what it is. The car is very stripped down. But that leaves you, as the purchaser and the driver of the car, plenty of room for you to add your own touches to. If your car did come with the JBL sound system, for example, it's a little harder to change the speakers. It's a little harder to amplify them. It's a little harder to add a subwoofer. This car has a bass radio made by Pioneer, one of the biggest manufacturers of aftermarket audio equipment. And it's just very easy to add stuff to this radio. You need a 2-channel line-out converter. You can add your subwoofer. If you want to amplify the front door speakers, do something like that, you get a 4-channel line-out converter. All of your connections are right at the back of the radio. Everything you need to tap into. It's super easy. It's not like the JBL system where you have to find the amplifier and then figure out, which wires to tap into on the amplifier, because there's inputs and outputs. And it gets convoluted. If you want to buy a car, a 4-door sedan, especially if you're looking at a Camry, and you want to be able to change things, TRD is the way to go. It's already going to come with the body kit and everything that, you might want to do to make it look good on the outside. And the inside is sky's the limit. You do whatever you want. Like I said, we've added this rear view mirror, this Homelink Mirror, frameless, which I think looks better than the one that the XSE would have came with. We upgraded our lights to LEDs, and we've added the wireless charger. So really, this is a great platform for somebody that is like me, or maybe like you, if you guys are watching this, to add modifications to your TRD trimmed, or any trim Camry for that matter. It's just a lot easier to do that on a car like this because you're not taking out any fancy high-end. It's base stuff. Now, one of the things that drew me to the Camry, putting aside the fact that I do like Toyotas and I am a little bit impartial to them, this is one of the last mid-size sedans that offers a V6 engine in its powertrain lineup. Hyundai, Honda, all of these, you know, companies that still have a four-door sedan, if they haven't phased it out yet, they're all going to the small displacement, slap a turbo on it and let her rip formula. And I don't like the power band of a turbo four-cylinder. They're gutless off idle, and then as soon as the turbo spools, you're blowing the tires off the car. This car is very linear with its throttle input. You hit the gas and power is going to increase linear with RPM. There is no all of a sudden like you hit nitrous and, you know, are taken off. The car is just very smooth, it's very linear, and when you're driving normally, it's got plenty of passing power, it's not struggling, and you hit the gas, it's ready to go. It's not like you need to wait for a turbo to spool. I do think that they could have done better with this 8-speed transmission. It's a little lackluster at times. I do feel that it does like the gear hunt, and if you don't start off, you know, if you don't put the car in sport mode and you leave it in normal, a lot of times the car will start off in second gear, and it leaves a lot to be desired. That's why if I'm in the mood to drive any type of spirited driving, I'll either slap it into sport mode or I'll move the stick all the way over and I'll shift with the paddles. I'm not shifting with the paddles right now because we are recording. But yeah, so that's about it for the powertrain. The main reason I went with one of these is because they still offer a V6 engine. Now, as far as fuel economy is concerned, like I mentioned previously, this is a V6 engine, and it is one of the only sedans you can get with a V6 engine. And I am not easy on this car. This car is probably hitting redline just about, you know, every time I drive it. And we still get an average of 25 miles per gallon. This is 25.5 on this tank. Let's see what we have for an average in total here. Not trip, where are we at here? So we average, that ain't right, that's what I just showed you. No, it's not, 25.6. So we average around 25 miles per gallon in this car. And I usually just take this thing around town. You know, I'll throw my kids in the back, my fiance in the front seat. This is our let's go grab something to eat and get, you know, go for a nice ride car. This isn't my drive to work car. I don't always drive this to work. So for a V6 engine, I feel that it gets adequate gas mileage. If I am out on the highway, it's knocking on 30 miles per gallon once it switches into that Atkinson cycle. So it's definitely not the most economical car out there. But if you're looking for something with good power, and you still want decent fuel economy, this is definitely a good trade-off. So what are some must-have modifications that you should get if you just purchased one of these cars? Personally, the first thing I would do is an intake, and I would delete that resonator. Not because it's going to pick you up any power, because let's be real, it's probably not really gaining much power. But if you like hearing your engine and you like kind of being in tune with what your car is doing, those are the best two modifications you can do, because you're going to open up that air intake, you're going to hear that thing, whenever you hit the gas, you're going to hear that thing gulping in air. And then it opens up the exhaust too, so you can, you know, hear that exhaust roar a little bit. So those are definitely two of the favorite modifications I've done to this car. Now, if you do have a house with electronic automatic garage door openers, I would definitely go ahead and get a, you know, a Homelink Mirror. This one has the capability of programming to 3 garage doors. We have 2, so it's perfect for me. And it is auto dimming, which I think is definitely nice. If you're the kind of guy that likes to listen to music when you drive and you don't really want to hear your engine too much, one of the best things you can do is add some sort of subwoofer to this car. The door speakers and the dash speakers are not bad at all. They sound all right. They just need a little reinforcements down low. So if you watch one of my other videos, we actually added a Alpine amplifier, an audio control LC2i 2-channel line-out converter, and a kicker sub. and it fills out the system nicely. I am considering upgrading my door and dash speakers with a set of JL component speakers. That's you know, down the road a little bit, but it is something I am considering. All right, guys, we're back home. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully some of my input has helped you guys that are looking at one of these or have one and want to tweak it a little bit. If you are looking at one, the car has held up great over the past year. A year isn't really that long, but you'll see the car still looks, if anything, it looks better than it did when I got it because of the modifications we've done. But it runs great, it drives great, it is giving me zero problems, and I hope that this video and my channel has helped you guys turn your TRD Camry or your Camry in general into your own. That's what I love about cars, is the sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want to your car to make it something that is yours and that you like, and make it different than everyone else's. So please like, share, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.